hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip bars is back, hip hop, Santa Ant, oh God, what's up with you? I done watched them niggas do interview after interview. They not culture vultures, the culture.
Alright, you're tuned into another special episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. I'm your brother, old guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored. Sitting across from me is my co-host.
What up, y'all? It's your man Sam Ant Viral Hip Hop News. Like my cuz said, man, we're in the building for another edition of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. We got a special guest in the building, y'all. Spider Loc is on the podcast of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Spider Loc, how you doing today, family?
I'm blessed in yourself.
Hey, man, we good. Happy to be here. Happy to have you on. Ain't had you on in a while, man. Happy to officially have you on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Last time I was politicking with y'all used to sit like face to face across the table from each other.
Yeah. Man. We moved a long way since then, man. And definitely appreciate having you back on, man. The people are gonna love this one, man. So
salute, man.
Absolutely. How you been, man?
I appreciate it because at the time of the friction in our initial conversation, after we summed it up like men, you extended this opportunity and we didn't rush to it and break our neck to get it done, but now it's organically come about. So salute.
Me and my cousin always been talking about having you on, but like you said, it had to be the right way. And a lot of blood-sucking motherfucking haters was excited to see the drama, man, and they ain't gonna be happy to see us building and doing it the right way. But fuck them.
Shame on them. They
brother,
bad.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do our thing, man. So we had you on, man. Let's just get right to it because obviously we had our man Faizon Love on a couple Fridays ago. So salute to that man. He really, you know what I mean, respects the podcast and does his thing on here, man. But he said some things about Davies, obviously that caught us off guard and has a lot of people talking. You being a Crip, you being an OG, felt like it would be only right to have you on here to give some perspective on what we're hearing and what's everything that's going on right now. So what did you think about what Faizon had to say in regards to Davies?
I did a little reaction video to his statements from being on your podcast on the subject. And this is my thing. I don't know, cuz, speaking of Davies, don't know nothing about him, good or bad. Can't say nothing about him, good or bad. What I can say is this, cuz do really be with the LA Harlems. And I can't say he be with everyone. Now you got to understand, Harlem is one of the original respected Crip gangs out here in LA that got a real rich tradition as far as being out here. So they deep. They got different sections of they set, different sections of they hood. Same way with any other hood in LA. It would be hard to get everybody from the hood to be 100% supportive of whatever it is. Even if they don't make a wave or try to go against it or provide any resistance, there are going to be some people, regardless, it's just not going to feel it in their heart. Older, whether they older, younger. But then you got to realize there is a spirit in Los Angeles about the industry. It's every hood. Snoop is Davies.
What do you mean by that?
Snoop Kitty Cat was allowed to claim the set that he claimed in Long Beach and rep it because we are from the bottom where it's nothing. Here it is, somebody that's on their way to the top that wants to be affiliated with us. It's like nobody wants to say no to that. If you, I can't knock what the Harlem's doing because I was one of the first in this current era to get out like that. I feel like what I did, it didn't turn out correct. Well, I don't know if I regret it or if I should say I shouldn't have did it, but you know, young Buck Jenner used to claim my hood. Really come to the set, met the homies. Now, for Faizon to say, cause of fake Crip or whatever, what I can say on that subject, he do be with the real Harlems. But I also can say it was a time when young Buck Jenner was with the real East Coasters. And cuz ain't never been a real Crip. Not saying that applies to Dave East. I just want to say one fact or the other doesn't definitely establish or cancel out either possibility. You know what I'm saying? So for whatever one man statement about another man's status was really not my business. If you watch my commentary was more directed toward a motherfucker that I know that called himself making a threat to an entertainer for getting in Crip business over the net. I find net threats hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So the nigga Chill told Faizon Love, hey, stay out of Crip business, last water. That's what caught my ear. So if you notice my commentary, I didn't even speak on nothing about Dave East being a Crip or not. I don't got nothing to do with it. Ain't none of my business. I have partners that are Crips that are not from California. So I'm definitely can't judge cuz based on I got partners from his hood in New York. I had homies that's rest in peace from my set that are first cousins with New York Belizeans from his set from Harlem. My homie Tiny Coop, TC, Lil Coop too. That was they got blood relative. I remember back in the day, cuz before New York was really even cripping or before anybody knew about it, I had homies, some Belizean homies from my hood. They used to go back and forth to New York. And they had family out there. And that was just always a weird, something we knew. And now that I've been traveling New York, I know the niggas that they used to go when they was kids. So there is a connection that's gone beyond being just from Cali, being associated with these authentic gangs. When in the 80s, when cats started taking that sack across the map,
mm-hmm.
it turned into a lot of pockets of establishing another version of what you was doing at home. Then came Eazy-E, NWA, Boys in the Hood, Colors, Minister Society. When you got to these towns and you look like these movies, the niggas that was wanting to be gangsters was willing to go with whatever you was talking about. So it's a set in Fresno, California that is nowhere near. It's 4 hours away from Los Angeles. But they call it the Six Deuce Diamonds. One of my homies from Six Deuce East Coast spent some time up that way. I respect them because they didn't turn themselves into East Coasters. They could have. They took the Six Deuce, but they ran with the Diamond. So it's all type of variations of what started from the original. And you can't knock nobody because they don't exactly resemble the original. Because I'm going to tell you right here in Los Angeles, our functioning doesn't exactly resemble the original Crippin' that started. It has expanded. It has been accepted by those that consider themselves real Crips in the expansion. And then I don't know what made Faizon say what he said about Cuz. He didn't say nothing about him being from New York. He mentioned a few things specifically about Cuz' life that he felt made him come to that conclusion. But all I could do is say thumbs up to Cuz. He a homie. My homies in the Dirt Gang is like real close.
So is anybody else from the Crips out of California feel the way that Faizon feels? Because not the first time I heard it.
Look what you asking me. You asking me to survey thousands of. You just asked me about thousands of opinions. I said, it's hard to believe anybody. It's hard to even assume that everybody from. I'm telling you.
Okay.
There is a pocket, a pack, a group of authentic, original Harlem 30 Crips that accept Dave East as a homie. And I'm still going to tell you, just from my general knowledge of life, it's hard for me to believe that every single Harlem Crip from LA accepts him. You understand what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It may be an issue at a meeting that might even cause some division between two sections of real authentics, the ones that's with it and the ones that's not. This is just the possibilities of everything I can imagine taking place. But you can't take from Cuz that he fucking with some real Harlems.
Can you break down the origins of how the Crips migrated from LA into other cities in the country to the best of, public record?
The best of my original knowledge, I can't say the first instance had anything with taking that crack sack across the map. But the majority of the instances that I've been familiar with through the years were that was the spearhead. When the crack was heavy in Cali and the prices was low, they was higher everywhere else. So, Ice Cube got a song called Summer Vacation where he pretty much details that whole experience. And the nigga say, I don't want to fuck his verse up. I got it. When the first few words come to me, I spit it. But he detailed it. That's, I'm sure there was other scenarios. But just think, we people, right? Mm-hmm. People who are not from LA, and I don't judge nobody for it, but you look at Crips and you think of this well-established, organized institution. But before any of that, just think we people, to the sense that my mom and your daddy might be first, second cousins. It might be niggas that go to New York like I told you, my homies, the Coops, they didn't start going to New York as Crips. They was going to New York as kids. They knew their cousins from babies. So how can you call a New York nigga fake who cousin is from the set, you'd have been to his hood or not, but you dealing with a nigga that's really from there and he give you the green light. When he bless you, you know he authentic. And when he tell you it's cool, when you with your sound mind feel like it's cool because he said it's cool, now you feel like you have the blessing to extend that to anybody you deem solid around you. It's an extension of something authentic. It's not like, cuz they not, I mean, I don't know if no, I don't believe cuz was watching no motherfucking videos and just said, I'm gonna pick the Harlems and I'm cripping like them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's age. A lot of times people judge you. Age, joining the game, age has a lot to do with whether or not you corny or just was misguided youth.
We had him on a few times now, and I think one of the main things he has an issue with is people playing a persona that they really ain't. Like he talked about Jay-Z not being a real drug dealer, and then his target this time was Dave East not being a real Crip. He doesn't like the fake personas in rap. What do you think about that?
I mean, my thing to this, real Crip, this is my thing. I've always said this. Don't have nothing to do with Dave East or Faizon Love. Real Crip is a real subjective statement because you can be somebody that get punched on today, quartered on the game, and later on today you can get shot and killed. Was he a real Crip?
Right.
Because he didn't have all these long experiences to call back on and end up telling you, was he a real Crip or was he a real Crip? Like y'all, when I hear that real Crip shit, I used to let that phrase mean something to me. But just think, in my own hood, in every hood in LA, you got riders and busters. You got niggas within that set that don't respect other niggas within that set because they don't feel like they deserve to be authentic Crips because of things they know about them. So you got unreal Crips everywhere. I can't say the Crip thing is bigger than Cali. Like Cali is not a sacred land. That's where the niggas that started happened to live. The influence of us is extreme, enormous. It has outpoured. Anybody sitting around crying about that is a fool. Mm-hmm. Now, I can't lie. It naturally irritates you when you see people do their rendition and certain things are not. I appreciate difference. The corniest thing would be an identical replica. That's weird. And I think a lot of people, that are been aware, that are my age and been around for a while, generally have a hard time accepting New York Crips and Bloods. Because if you look regionally throughout the states, they were some of the most resistant, anti, and the last to mimic or accept that type of lifestyle. They're the only ones I can even remember being having representation as mainstream people were comfortable opening their mouth up saying negative things about the lifestyle. Tim Dog out of nowhere. Heard other people say certain things, but I remember in the early 90s having partners from New Jersey, New York, and we used to debate hip hop. This is our primary content of our conversation. We was young. And their main thing was, I swear for God, I could call them one of them right now. We still partners to this day. And I used to tease them by saying, yo, word, son. Word is bond and word. And they used to hit me back with homie, loke, blood crust. Yeah. Clowning me like that was the corniest shit they ever heard. Mm-hmm. And now, if you know, even Curtisha Jack's daughter, he's had music clowning New York niggas for gangbanging early on in his career. It was a general, even Jay-Z has had lyrics making fun of niggas that's from New York claiming Crip and Blood when it started being popular. So anybody want to deny that for people that's been around through the whole journey, it was shocking to see New York get on the board, whether we accept it at this point or not. People that understood, even when you look back with the Ice Cube West Coast connection, bow down whole era. At that time frame, show me the New York representation of Crips and Bloods, just that recently. Even the people everybody that caught themselves getting caught up in a response, even when the Tupac, East Coast, all that, just that recently in history, there was not one sort of kind of like Crip or Blood reference from New York that I can recall. If anybody can correct me, please do. I could be wrong. So you have to understand that for some, it's gonna be shocking.
Definitely. I don't know if you heard about this, but the Crips LLC is in a battle with Nipsey family. About
I'm baffled. I'm baffled, bro. Like, I know you probably would think that's something I could tap into, but that's so over my head for that to even be a possibility. I don't even know how to discuss that from a standpoint of understanding or confidence. I don't even understand how that can exist. I'm very curious and interested, plan to do some research, just learned about it this morning, but that just blows my mind that is factual.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's just a crazy concept. Like, so how do I just start talking about that? Like, I've never even assumed or imagined that would be something possible. So where do you go? Salute to whoever, I guess. I know about the controversy. I'm not saying salute to anybody that's anti-Black Sam. Didn't mean that. I'm just thinking of the progression of the whole idea of the concept of that could be something. And if it's anybody truly affiliated with the essence of real Crippin' that is involved in establishing this, then I think it will be something to celebrate if those that's really involved with protecting the estate, a neighborhood nip, could give a green light is what I was trying to say. Other than that, then I hope it goes the way his loved ones wish it go. But the fact that it's legal, you know, I get texts in the window, might be from SAG, might be from ASCAP, and it says Spider Low. And so I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Because Spider, I'm Baby Spider from 97th Street. So Baby Spider could get checks. I guess the Crips could have an LLC. I mean, oh my. But
did you ever hear the marathon continues before? Besides Nipsey?
Hell no. Nobody has. And if you have, it wasn't as a catchphrase or a slogan, not for nothing related to anything that anybody would be trying to debate him about in our genre, culture, existence, generation. Hell no. That's just like saying, have you ever heard of Blutiful before me? I didn't make that word up, but no, you haven't.
Would it be safe to say if he was alive, this wouldn't be happening?
I would say I don't have a crystal ball, but I would bet against this happening.
Yeah.
Nipsey he had a way where, like, if you had the opportunity to have a negotiation situation with him, you'd probably be more eager to come to some terms that he's comfortable with rather than try to demand something that's going to cause some friction. He just had that aura about him. So if the question was even raised, I'm sure he would have been it would have been very simple for him to deal with the situation to his liking. No problem.
Gotcha. You talked about early on Chill. When you talked about Faizon, and I watched your video. That's what kind of made me propel me to hit you up. So I was like, damn, there's some good commentary. I want to talk about it more. And you did talk about Chill. What happened with that situation?
It's a totally unrelated situation to that situation. The only reason I took the opportunity to address it on social media at that moment is because I think one of the corniest things I've ever experienced on social media is anybody making a threat over the internet. That's the corniest thing. So when I saw somebody as old as Chill, to my last warning for getting in Crip business, when I know personally there's nothing behind that threat, no repercussions are coming. I know that. And the reason why I could have seen that and just ignored it, but if he's comfortable being on social media, representing himself in such a corny fashion, then there is no reason he should have not responded to the multiple attempts I made on social media to get in touch with him to discuss a business matter that was pertinent between he and myself. I utilized his DM to try to contact him. When that was not effective, I went on his actual page, saw places where he was actually making comments less than 10 minutes ago, replied to the same comment, nothing negative, always in all caps. Yo, what up, my loc? Holla at me. I'm in your DM. I left my number. Multiple occasions. He never responded. Someone who cares enough can go through the wake and bakes. I've kind of like sarcastically, casually hollered at him on my show, just randomly rambling. Oh, chill, holla at your boy. Of course, I'm not going to assume he heard my little show. He probably didn't see that one. But lo and behold, once your guys' show came out and I made my commentary, guess who popped up in my DM? Now, the most ironic thing about that, right here, where I see him in my DM at this point, guess what I see right above it?
What's that?
November 2019. My name, another text at another time. Yo, another one with my number.
Wow.
So, I mean, then totally unrelated to that, y'all have no idea. I had a spit spat back and forth upon the internet with the individual that basically is affiliated with traditionally, historically, a neighborhood that is one of Chill's neighborhood's arch enemies. Not that it's a war or has been at any time recently, but that's just the history between the two sections. And Chill didn't realize that while he was on the phone talking to a whole nother muff, I heard him make the statement, "A whole Spider don't think the homies is gonna help him with that with them niggas over there. He's trying to get something started." I'm like, and this is around the same period of time. Shortly thereafter, I get the copyright claims, and I'm trying to contact them. And every method of communication that has always been effective is just all of a sudden ineffective. So, of course, the two are related mentally for me throughout the process of him not being able to see me on the internet. And yet I find him on the internet making net threats, trying to speak for his homie that he definitely cannot speak for behind my back. Then I questioned him about it. And when he came in my DM, I got at him about it. I thought he was going to at least be a man enough to like, yeah, say I said that. But he was a coward to deny it, not knowing I heard it with my own ears. So, you know.
Wow, man. I want to go back a little bit because the first time we ain't really get a chance to get into your history. We had you on a program.
That nigga Bone from Spooktown been more chill out though a long time ago. He be real careful where he pop up at in Compton because of Bone. But my bad, off the subject. What you saying?
You good. I was saying last time, man, we didn't get really a chance to talk about some of your history. I want to get into that for some of our viewers. In particular, now, is it true that Suge Knight discovered you, and then can you get into your time going into G Unit?
I mean, when you look at what you would consider major as far as the industry and it being exposed or connected or affiliated, I guess you would have to give Suge the credit for discovering me because I met Suge like in 2000, 2001. Whenever he got out of prison, whatever time was closest to 2000 or 1999, I met him 30 days after he got out of prison. What's ironic about that situation, I used to tell people as the news was announcing Suge Knight was going to be released from prison, I had no clue how I was going to pull it off, but I used to just tell people off my energy, like, cuz when that nigga get out, cuz before he out 30 days, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to make it my business that I meet him. I'm going to be on it. I'm going to get at cuz. I know he going to be on one trying to rebuild. I'm going to get at cuz. And then, like, sometimes I wouldn't just say that self-motivated. A lot of times it would be in response to people just because they knew me and who I was and what I was up to. When they were saying should it come up, Suge coming home, it'd be a question. Suge coming home, would you fuck with him? And my answer always like, hell yeah. Shit. Well, because I'm always assuming everything you heard negative about artists that artists went through. I'm like, cuz they did that to them Busters. That's always the first thing. You know, cuz did that to them Busters, you know, whatever. So I kept predicting that before he was out 30 days, I would predict that through my efforts that I was going to meet cuz. However, when he finally paroled, well into the 30 days, I didn't make one effort to meet Suge. Like, I'm not no nigga that declares and proclaims nothing like that to multiple people and then don't follow up. It's totally against my character. However, on my mama, on my dad homies and my daughters, everything I love and live for, before 30 days was up, my big homie aunt, rest in peace, called me and said, Suge want to meet you. They talking about hip hop magic and all that. Nigga, my story's so magical. Tell you how I marked out Curtisha Jack's daughter to get the G Unit deal. That's why he don't ever want to speak on it. There was no demo, no managers. It was just him having a real important gangster conversation. And me, without saying the words shut up, saying shut up by opening my mouth and rapping real loud and drowning him out. So we off that now, Curtisha. It's so much more to it. It's just a magical hip hop story. You know what I'm saying? I heard the brat met JD outside the barbershop or something. Just hip hop. I love hip hop.
You want to get into that a little bit though? How you got with G Unit?
I was in Atlanta trapping. My brother was in Nashville trapping. And because of the he was trapping with in Nashville. See, Bo, what it do, Bo? He met Young Buck. I was in, you know how close Atlanta and Nashville is, but I was in Atlanta, and my brother used to be in Nashville, and throughout our conversations we was having every other day, he used to be like, "Cuz nigga, Young Buck, cuz he comes picking me up in his 6 tray, cuz he like projects be deep, gang of niggas, cuz and pull up, just get me, cuz we doing this, we doing that." And me and my brother was also on some brotherly competition back then. Mind you, we trapping in 2 different areas. We wasn't trapping out the same operation. You dig it, like? So it was kind of like I'm the little brother, and he had it cracking in Nashville, and my energy was kind of like, watch. I'm gonna have, so watch what I'm gonna do. Like I don't need you don't need me. Wasn't nothing bitter, no negativity, but it was just little bro, like watch what I do. I'm gonna holler at you. So when he steady telling me, so it's kind of like now at the competition level, me with the rap aspirations and being a rapper, now it's like fuck the sack and all the hustling. He making his stock up on his side sound like he like, yeah, Young Buck G. On my mama, my daughters, my dad, homies, everything I love and live for, cuz I was not a Young Buck fan, was very vaguely familiar with him and the OG Unit movement, was never a fan. They was my fans before I was their fans at all. I became their friends before I had any fanism. But I knew the caliber of what they meant though. So I'm like, eventually, after my brother mentioning cuz name so much, I'm like, cuz, if it's like that, won't you have cuz call my phone? Let me holler at him. And so that was like my challenge to my brother, which he seemingly didn't expect. But he was like, you know what? I'm gonna call you right back. And next thing I know, a couple minutes later, he had Buck calling me on the phone. So Buck was about to start the Straight Outta Cashville tour.
Okay.
He left off on that tour, ended up in Chicago. The G Unit Spinner come up missing. One of the next stops on this tour is Atlanta, Georgia. So the niggas that my brother know Buck drove from Nashville to Atlanta like a week before Buck was to arrive, and we was all together thugging and hanging for a week in Atlanta, going out, going to the club, tearing the club up, chilling. We was doing shit. I got to build a little bond with a pack of Buck homies before Buck was even around. So by the time Buck got there, on my mama, when his entourage went to the hotel, Buck went to the radio station. So when his entourage went to the hotel, the niggas I'm with that know Buck, we go meet them at the hotel. So now I'm in a room full of Cashville niggas for a couple of hours before I ever meet Young Buck. We smoking, chilling, doing our thing. The G Unit Spinner had got robbed the day before in Chicago. So mind you, while we in here doing our regular nigga thing, talking and chilling, waiting on, we in Young Buck's hotel room before he's in there, because we with his manager, murdering them at the time. So when he finally enters his room, it's all eyes on Buck. The show is on him. He come out his shirt, all his chains on, he rolling weed, smoking. Dog, listen. He got to tell this story from the moment the chain came out the hotel room and DT asked him could he wear it, and he almost said no, all the way up until the point where it came off the DT neck, and he told the story how he went back to the radio station and asked if something get taken in this area, who you holler at. They directed him to this dude. This dude introduced him to JoJo Capone, and he told this whole story word for word. Everybody in the room is listening to every word he's saying, including me. Mind you, I'm a fly on the wall that don't know him. I have nothing to say. Every now and then, a few people might ask a question for clarification, but it's like church. He's preaching, everybody listening. Oh, my daughter, dead homies. Out of nowhere, cuz I'm the most heated. Swear the West Coast needed. Blue cleated, undefeated, guaranteed to three-peated. They can't beat it, get mistreated, dismissed and deleted, shouldn't have competed. Spot a lope so crisp and conceited, I'm weeded. 100 yards of grass and every pass completed. Both the Remy and the neighborhood in me is deep-seated, filthy flesh, so I feed it. Know the word, but don't read it. Tried to sit behind the pulpit, but couldn't stay seated. Rap sheeted because I cheated. Many bangers got breeded. Hope to make it to them gates. Don't even care how I'm treated. In the pack, I'm my lead it. Never be impeded. Killing quota, gotta meet it. Born on 97th Street. It throw a bash, I'm a sweet it. Let these hoes dirty deed it. We deep fleeted. Skeeted in their face and watch them eat it. Repeat it until they run down. That's the way we created, exceeded. Went from buckwheated to fucking succeeded. And then from that point on, I had about 8 or 9 minute chain of verses that I had memorized through the years that I always used to that's the first one I used to come with. So from that, the next verse used to go from that. I say, buckwheated to fucking succeeded, separate the average from the great. Let me have my own slate. Got a strong trait to conquer. I was stood a long way. I ain't got no friends, although I associate with a few close-knit niggas as we negotiate the appropriate price for the freight on the crate. Calculate, hibernate, till I get my groceries straight. Yeah, baby got back, but it ain't no debate. Rather live celebrate before I go broke. No joke, these hoes can't wait till they blood flow late. Hate to see me bounce and scrape the concrete on 4 gates with no mate. Salvatate when they pussies pose say. They nipples twitch and get tight. My parole date, pronounce my pursuit to control fate. Move 16 for 8 to compensate when I'm late. Demonstrate the genius. I'm a gangbang genius, prone to be the G's if I stay at this rate. I forgot a bar. Mind you, these is bars. These are the raps I said when I met 50, when I met Brooke. These is the raps. Anytime when I met Game, when we battled, them is the bars I start. Same shit everywhere I went. I would love for a nigga to come up me with a freestyle. Especially no beat, and just an acapella and everybody listening, leave me alone. I know can't nobody fuck with me from that standpoint. Now, being able to rap on a beat and be a recording artist was a whole nother journey. But yeah, that's the experience right there. I did that, but I didn't stop. I just kept going, and the nigga Young Buck response was, hold up. Them is just words. How you move a nigga with words like that? Oh, man, we all know the same words. Oh, niggas be on me with that Pac shit. Fuck that. You got it. You the one, homie. You ain't got no situation. Oh, I'm going to get at my people, and you going to have a situation. And if they can't make it shake, I know some other people going to make it shake. I can't believe it. How you move a nigga with words like that? I can't make this up. I told the story Google time. It's going to stay the same. Then, after that, Young Buck wanted me to leave Atlanta and go with him on the rest of the Straight Outta Cashville tour. But I told you that I was up to in the A already. That couldn't happen just like that. So I told her, like, you got to give me some time and then I can catch up. So he was scheduled to shoot Shorty Wanna Ride video in LA a couple weeks later. So that was the time we scheduled to connect. So I was able to go to that video shoot. And I remember being in the trailer all day with the same niggas that introduced me to Buck and a few more Cashville niggas, a whole bunch of New York niggas. We in the trailer for hours and hours. It's elbow to elbow room, just kicking it. Me and Pipe the Snipe from Grape Street. That's who I brought with me. And then I remember we got hungry. We were like, cuz, go get something to eat. We left the trailer for about 15 minutes, came back to the same trailer, and one of the security guards was like, you can't go in there. Thinking to myself, I've been in this motherfucker all day. I'm like, why I can't go in there? It was like 50s in there. I'm like, oh, I understood him. I'm like, oh, okay. I had yet to meet him. So Big Dame is a security guard who knew what time it was with me. He was like, "Oh no, that's low. He's straight." So I immediately like, "Yeah, we go in the trailer." Now, mind you, the G Unit spinner had just gotten taken. Kurtisha had not spoken to Buck Jenner since it had been taken. He refused to take phone calls at this time about the subject. He didn't want to talk to him until he spoke to him in person. So I told you I was only out this trailer for 15 minutes. When I came back in, Kurtisha is in his opening conversation. He's full-fledged in a gangster conversation about this chain, what they gonna do about getting it back, how DT is a rap. He better not be caught in no pictures. This is the conversation. And guess what I do? This is a quiz time now. What did I do?
Talk about it.
Can't nobody, I can't get a guess. Come on, man. We're trying to have a little fun.
You ain't got that motherfucking chain back.
Nigga, I said I'm the most heated. I'm the West Coast needed, but I did the same exact shit. Told him, shut up with that shit. Listen to me rap, nigga.
Power.
You heard 50 Cent recently say that he wants to erase all the G Unit memory. Like he doesn't want it, but it's a staple in hip hop that'll never be erased. It's an era where G Unit was there and all of y'all included. What do you think about what he said?
Sound like a divorced woman that want to cut her hair, throw away all the pictures and throw everything out. Remember on Waiting to Exhale when she burnt all the nigga shit?
Yeah.
You know, when you have to publicly come out and say you grew up confused because your mama was sucking pussy, you got to look at that type of mind frame. If you're a child that grew up confused because your mama on pussy, you have a sexual identity crisis. One of your best friends, Eminem, he confesses he can't play football without getting attracted to his teammates. Then he sends you text that says he wants to get on a jet and come sit on your swipe. And then you comfortable sharing this with the world. When you got a bunch of men, then like Buck Jenner getting caught up with his situation, he probably don't want to stand too close to him because that's going to like shed light on the whole scenario. You see how Vivica played, cuz.
Why you keep calling that nigga Buck Jenner?
I mean, that's how he's established himself. He's into what he's into, bro. You heard all, if you're going to just assume I heard 50 say he want to forget G Unit without asking me if I heard it, I'm going to assume you heard him and Greg.
Yeah.
And I've seen you guys multiple times. You are intelligent individuals. And only a fool would not come to the conclusion that him and Greg were an item.
Damn.
You guys are uncensored, man. You guys always want to tiptoe when it comes to me around that real deal. Y'all that's why y'all changed y'all name to Viral.
Nah. We got three.
Like y'all want to put a little censor on it, huh? Because especially tapping in with me, it's the reals, uncensored. You know, hip hop originally is uncensored. You know, the only time I was ever censored in hip hop was the bitch ass nigga 40 Glock. He did an album called the you said what? We did an album called the Graveyard Shift. And Cuz censored me. He cut one of my lines off, Cuz corny.
I think Cass just went at 40 Glock too.
Yeah.
Cassidy just went at 40 Glock. He sent us that diss record. He cooked him up a little bit.
Did he go at 40 Glock or 40 Cal?
I think it was 40 Glock.
Oh, okay, Cassidy.
Yeah.
Hey, but speaking of Cassidy, the homie Cookie, he owed the homie some little change. Rough Rider Cookie, Q102 Cookie. I let the homie, cuz. Some G niggas, that's crazy because some G niggas say Cookie from Main Street. But that's my G homie. And he held you down, Cassidy. I seen him on that video of that battle in LA. He was holding you down real close. Say your tab ain't clear, man. They clear that tab. All love. Salute to black men. All power, bro. Let's keep it clean. Black business. Support black business. The homie say holla at him, cuz.
Now, where did doing 50 Cent go wrong to go back to that situation? I was seeing a video where you had beef with him at one point.
Never had beef with him. He was my homie, my dog.
Okay.
You know, one of my partners, one of my closest friends from what I would assume. And then our connection, situation, relationship, understanding, whatever you want to call it, the communication included, just ceased without no warning. So if I had to detail all the events that took place before that spoke toward a positive situation between he and I that indicated this was a blind side, it would take us forever. So he really did some whole shit on that level. But just to keep it a Google, I was totally willing to just silently accept that, just because, you know, when you realize a hoe, you let a hoe be a hoe. Willie D told that us a long time ago. But then you I'm so glad I have documentation. I got video of Curtisha, Jack's daughter, being on live for the very first time. Now, this is how much of my little homie he is in this digital world, right? First time he ever went live, I had already had spotterlow.com, SPI in the streets, multiple websites that I had developed, hip-hop media based branded, that was kind of thriving. Shit was way small back then, but it was brand new to him. He was only getting into it because he was so huge, had so much access, and he was able to have a team of people who knew all about it up under him to create it. So he was like, of course. But when I first met Curtisha, he was sitting on the computer on spotterlow.com. No, we couldn't see each other, just typing in the chat room to my fans. He'd be looking on my shoulder like, Spotter, you talking to your fans right now? I'm like, yeah. Yo, that's dope. Yo, B, check it out. This nigga Spider ill, and bring everybody attention to it. And this is the first time he really got energy about this social media communication. The same way Lloyd Banks used to see me when he get to LA and all my homies got my t-shirts on. Yo, that's dope, B. You investing in yourself, B. I'm gonna do the same thing. Next thing you know, Lloyd Banks did the same thing. Salute the Banks. Not that I'm just letting you know I'm a trendsetter, not knocking nobody, but if sometimes you don't tell your own story, you don't get told. Yeah. But I kind of lost train of my thought. What were we talking about with Curtisha?
You was talking about you making some t-shirts and all that, and Lloyd.
That was the last thing after I got off track.
You was talking about 50. You was talking about 50 and him cutting you straight off.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, like, what the I wouldn't know. Cuz just, it's a whole lot. Cuz just, the video. Damn, the first time he went live. That's where we was at, like 07, right? They was overseas. It was a This Is 50 big event. They had advertised it for a couple of days. They was doing a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And right, it's 50 in the middle. Yayo, Banks right here. Bam, they looking at the screen. And it's a new thing to him. He's never been live before in his life, y'all. Listen to what I'm telling you. He's live in front of the world in a hotel on the other side of the country, read. And he's been advertising for a week that you can talk to G on it live for the first time on This Is 50, 1:00 p.m. on this date. Now there's been a countdown. He's sitting in front of this countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can see him reading the questions. And the first few questions is like, what's up with Hot Rod, Spider-Low? Man, these niggas ain't even got no interesting music out right now. You fans don't even know how to ask good questions. I don't understand where all this interest come from with Hot Rod and Spider-Low all of a sudden. All right. There are multiple other things I can add to that. But I'm going to leave it at that so I won't overcram your brain with information and have you thinking about other things and other variables. I'm signed to your label. You're going live in front of your fans. You want to see what they're interested in. We've never had an argument, disagreement, all that. He never delivered. Cuz told me my album was done in 06, ready, sealed. Everybody that know music was never no issue on my mind. I've never had an issue with creating music. Everywhere I go, my music does what it's supposed to, except when I'm dealing with you. When I met you, it did, but then the only stagnation was dealing with you. But anyway, that's what Cuz tell the fans. He said, he don't even got no interest in music out at the time. Beautiful World was out at the time. And here it is a decade later. I think Crayola would beg to differ. One of the most influential brands known to the world that starts off with the most intimate influence. You know how far of a reach it is for the universe to cause Crayola to go beautiful on my behalf? That's when you know the magic is involved, bro. How could you ask for these scenarios to take place in such a fashion? That big old box of crayons, what made these motherfuckers go beautiful? And then when the homie neighborhood nip passed, did you see the campaign that so many celebrities attached their name to, including LeBron James and others, for Crayola to change the beautiful Crayola to Nipsey Blue? Please give me the connection between Crayola and Nipsey. They didn't go to DuPont. Nipsey talk rap about cars and shit. They didn't go to no car paint company. Why the fuck did they go to Crayola about Nipsey Hussle? And we know what the obvious is. I just surprised how my name never came up one time in all the conversation. There's no way to think about Crayola when you think about Nipsey unless you think about Beautiful. And the only reason you think about Beautiful when you think about Nipsey is because you think about God damn. Nah, I'm just saying.
You think 50 was intimidated by you? Because I mean,
definitely. I didn't realize it at the time, but now in hindsight, you know, sometimes you gotta believe. I remember what my pops told me. Blasphemy. That's all my daddy used to say from day one when things wasn't right. And of course, because that's my daddy, I throw that right out my ear. That's just my daddy. That's just he said with so many moving parts and variables. I'm racking my brain to try to figure it out. Because what y'all don't realize is murder cases and a whole lot of other shit that come up around him knowing me that would cause me to speculate as to what was his primary cause of placing the distance. The thing is, he never iterated any of these. He never communicated any reason. He never even said that there was a cease, there was an end. There was never even a nothing. So I was speculating, oh, maybe because of this, maybe because of that, maybe because of that. But then he wanted to go in the public and say what he chose to say. So, okay, then it was a time in 2017 when I stumbled across the clip of him talking about my music wasn't interesting and all that to the fans. I posted it on my page on a Thursday and said, Throwback Thursday, back to when I realized 50 Cent was hating on me. And Kurtisha got emotional and she made a post and responded just like a female, threw some other niggas' name in it. He threw in Doja and OT Genesis name in it, talking about, oh, I wasn't hating. I was just disappointed because you didn't deliver. He know and I know. Tell them people you troll for whatever you want, but you and I know what's coming to going on. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Cuz know what's up with the music. Let me tell you something. I've never been a 50 Cent fan. I was a friend to 50 Cent, but this is how much of a fan of mine he was. You see what transpired in my life based upon what type of introduction I just told you about, right? So that could be nothing more than fanism. Then I've also experienced, while I didn't deliver, this is how I deliver while I don't deliver. I'm walking in the Beverly Hills Hotel because 50 in LA, he told me to come through. Me and a couple of my partners walked through the door. When I walked through the door, he's playing music that he just recorded earlier that day. And as I'm walking through the door, he asked me, can you tell I'm mimicking your flow?
Damn.
The song is When It Rains, It Pours that came out on the soundtrack to the Get Rich or Die Trying. I've never mimicked anything of his flow. You know, but I'm just saying, this is the lack. When you see now why you want to forget G-Unit. Because you can't tell the story without talking about the truth. When I say the truth, I'm talking about myself, the one. How you gonna leave me out? And then
was there any legal recourse you could have taken that you didn't take? Any legal recourse back then? You said he kind of just left you. You have no contract and stuff.
This is the thing. I was not even sore or nothing. Like I used to tell cuz when the communication got funny, I used to be at Power 106 when he got in the parking lot. And I don't know rah-rah shit, you know, just what up, my nigga? And when my first thing be like, cuz, if we ain't gonna be getting down, just let me get a statement of the release. Cuz be like, oh no, it ain't like this, and give you some bullshit, smoking screen reason why the communication be funny, give you the new number work for that day, and then the new number don't work no more. I used to try to get at Nicky Martin, Angel Martinez. These are people that were involved in the office with keeping me in communication with him for business issues. Used to hammer them for a statement of release. Nobody, just think about it, at that time, after what everybody just watched me go through, anybody that was interested, including Alan Grunblatt, was not going to take a step without you being able to show them something legally that he had no longer interest. And he would verbally say, I don't hold no nigga, no. But when, okay, I see this is a dead issue right here, why can I get that statement of release? Couldn't get it, my nigga. So therefore, anybody that you can get a conversation with, that's all it would be a conversation.
Man.
He had to really lose his whole G-Unit deal, and that took some time. And when after it happened, it still took a lot of people time to realize that that was even a fact for anybody to realize that he couldn't have no say-so on certain especially as regard to me. That's why you got to thank the creator in the universe for certain things, because sometimes you think you want certain things so bad and you being protected from them the whole time. You see how the boy Buck Jenner tried to put music out way down the line recently and had issues with food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he stood us up too on the show, man. But
of course he did. Y'all, if anything uncensored, he gonna stand up.
Yeah.
Y'all look sneaky too, like y'all gonna get him off, getting good for a good 9 minutes, and then just hit him with a curve. Oh, mama. Especially after dealing with me, you ain't gonna be able to be off if y'all don't do it. I want to say this to anybody in the field of saying they tapping in with entertainers or anybody to reach the truth. If Buck Jenner come across your platform and you don't ask him nothing about Greg, we no longer believe in you.
Dang. Write that one down.
When I say we, I mean me, myself, and I, and those that think like me.
I want to talk to you about the T.I. situation again, because
the situation.
He came out. I don't know if you've seen it, maybe a couple of months ago. Closet? And he pretty much came out.
Well, I seen with some pink boxing gloves. I didn't know if that was related. You got to be careful what terms you use. Like, you see how particular he is with the words he chooses. You got to be careful, bro.
But he pretty much came out and challenged it again. He was like, "Yo, like, I ain't no snitch." He had remember the video? He put the video out. He was going in. He's like, "I'm not a snitch. I challenge anybody for that paperwork party, whatever."
But look, this the funny part. All right, there you go. I'm glad you used that term. The first time we heard that term paperwork party, he brought it up, right? And he was like, when you get to the feds, you have a paperwork party. When you get there, you say, here goes my paperwork. Let's start the party off right. Where your paperwork? You don't tell the niggas in the feds your booking number and tell them to go find your shit. And the cold part about it, you think like, well, Spider, we're on the internet. These are cameras. Guess where the whole testimony was once at? Right here on this YouTube internet, crispy clear HD. So you know society is moving toward wireless and paperless. So it can still be a paperwork party, because I know for a fact, Cliffy Tiffy, you have the digital version of the paperwork. So if you suggest this paperwork party, I'm still interested. I still got my outfit, trying to come to the party, my nigga. Upload that paperwork. That would end it all, my nigga. All this, look at all the countless speculation, talking, opinions, facts that have been looked at as opinions, him declaring and denying shit. Look at all that took place. But one thing he refuses to do, and which he would never do, nigga, is upload that video. Bet he won't do that. If you truly felt your name can be cleared by what you did on the stand, and you there was video, what would you do, nigga? Thank you. I ain't gonna wait for you niggas to answer, because y'all be stuttering and hesitating. Y'all trying to be uncensored but politically correct with everybody. A friend to everybody is a friend to no one, and a friend to the majority don't give a fuck about the minority. Remember that, bro. If you're gonna be uncensored, keep it facts over feeling. Keep it a Google, my nigga. I know when I hit a home run, if I pause, if you was in church, you would have said, "Amen." Okay, at least I get a
Yeah, so that's Hey,
y'all niggas done took some media classes, so y'all ain't biting on nothing.
Nah.
Y'all seasoned.
It's why? Because one thing I learned from our last conversation is the reach we meet. We hit a demographic that I was a little naive to. So I was like, all right, you know what? I gotta have a little more responsibility. And if I don't know the shit, not speaking on it too deep. You know what I'm saying? We can give commentary and our perspective on it, but I gotta make sure that I know
the fact that we have grown together and all we have is this type of connection, bro, that just impacted me, bro. I appreciate that. Salute to y'all, my nigga. We've grown together, y'all. That's hard in front of the whole world.
Nah, that's a fact. And it's very interesting because you look at the Tekashi shit, you hear about snitch culture in rap, you hear about T.I., who's one of the biggest figures in Southern rap and in hip hop in the last 20 years.
And if you erase everything that I'm trying to explain to the naive that don't understand, just go with the Crime Stopper commercial. Go ahead. I'll keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, that Crime Stopper was fucked up.
You got Tekashi on the stand.
Often for me, I was like, man, I know you had.
And then, like, I don't know, everybody was talking about fuck your codes. You never hear me talk about codes. Only reason I talk about code is because T.I. don't want to holler. I'll go by the G code. Now it's time to analyze the G code. That's the only reason. I wouldn't be imposing a G code on nobody. That's kind of like corny talk for me. That's why he the one who said it. When last time you hear somebody even like really try to say something about the G code like they was proud of it? That's corny. He's so off base. Just like when the snitching first came on his name. A real nigga that know anything about the G code, one thing he wouldn't have said on the Breakfast Club or wherever he was at, Big Meech, Big Meech, biggest drug dealer I know. He say, my partner straight. Nobody would have did Big Meech like that. You gonna throw Big Meech under the bus to try to clear your name. Ain't no real nigga gonna do that, my nigga. Real nigga that enjoy paperwork party gonna let the paperwork speak for itself. We're in a paperless society, T.I. It's a lot of paper, a lot of trees gotta die. Just upload the digi version. Let's have that party, my nigga.
The incident in Cincinnati, what was the violation? It was where he told on his friend getting killed. He wasn't supposed to say anything. Where's the violation with that situation in Cincinnati?
We don't talk to the police, especially, even if you want to give celebrities a pass, especially when you get caught up in some funk that you initiated with some street niggas. You didn't get into it flashing no badges. You got into it on some fuck nigga shit, fuck whatever, rumble, tumble, tussle. When these niggas follow you down the road and you exchange fire, according to you, your testimony, you exchange fire. I've seen T.I. say with his own hand he's exchanged fire. I've seen him say somebody else exchanged fire. I've seen it. I have the clips on my phone of him saying two different versions at different times. When you get involved in that, and then somehow, I don't know if it's associated or not, y'all don't realize they attempted to get T.I. to cooperate initially and he refused because guess what? He was trying to go by that G code that he speaks of. He had chose it initially. And guess what? I don't know if it was related, but one might draw the connection that he was trying to get an arsenal sticking to the G code. Once he got caught up purchasing that arsenal, that's the point the G code went out the window. Just think at the time when the murder happened and look at the time the trial date started in reference to when T.I. got arrested for them guns. The prosecution refused to go forward until they had T.I.'s cooperation. You can think about all the moving parts about what's wrong. I'm glad now I finally hear your question. This is the scenario. If you don't get it after this, you'll never get it. When you go in the courtroom, there are two teams opposing one another. The prosecution versus the defense.
True.
They put on an exhibition. There's no way in the world the DA, college graduate, seasoned DA, high profile case, would want T.I. on that stand unless what he had to say was going to help bring about a conviction. Intelligent brothers.
So let me ask you this.
I want to ask you this question. Give me one other motivation for the prosecution to behoove upon Mr. Harris to be present at that trial, other than they deemed what he was going to say valuable to bring about a conviction. Give me one other reason why they were wanting there. Just one.
Nah, the prosecution, it wouldn't be none.
You know who he was there on behalf of?
Who?
Wow, yeah, y'all good. The prosecution, sir. And we know what the word "on behalf of" means, correct?
Yeah, that was his guess. Well, he was their guess.
He was on their team. Their team got a victory. If you are the third string punter that hasn't kicked the ball in 4 years, if you're on the team, you get a ring. Your team won. So if you're in court on a team that wanted to see a guy get found guilty, and that guy gets found guilty, how much do you need to know to understand what his interest was in the whole situation? Yes, what happened when your hero is a shero? It's hard to let go. It's hard to let go of the fondness you have for the image that he held up for so long. You was proud of the fact that you thought he was stutter from the gutter, and then came out so eloquently with the transformation without no smudges on his nah.
It just kind of, you know what it does, and especially in this field now, it kind of, because we've seen this far too often now, especially in dealing with people directly.
See what Trick been up to?
Say that again?
You see what Trick been up to?
I was going to ask you about that.
I mean, like, without harping on it or dwelling on it, it's all the same spirit. Like how my thing is, how the hell is you like hollering crip cuz in the process of talking about arrest and conviction? Like I'm gonna say me as a human, not even as a crip, just looking from the outside in, everything I know that don't go together. This is my thing. Why protect a baby killer from the other alternative? Why preserve his life? Allow him to get 3 hots in the cot. Perhaps get found not guilty. Perhaps get found guilty and get a sentence that doesn't keep him in prison all his life. Perhaps get found guilty and escape from prison. Perhaps get found guilty, be in prison, and fall in love with a female CEO and get pussy while you're in prison. Or perhaps go to prison and fight the appeal and get out. Why give him action at all that? The baby ain't got no action at none of that. Why you trying to be so righteous and holy, act like you're doing a positive thing? You protecting the baby killer from what? You see what happened when Eric Holder was a fugitive? He turned himself in, right? No Crips making no videos, talking about no police arrest and conviction, right? Do you remember what type of reports was hitting the internet that led up to his turning himself in? All right. Let everything else speak for itself, bro. Cuz corny. And just like Buck Jenner, you grown ass niggas with grown kids start cripping. And then you spell crip. Yeah, both of y'all got CK in your name. Don't pass go. Don't pass go. Don't pass go. Don't pass go. No. Don't pass go.
How fake is the industry?
As fake as Hollywood is. This is something that I want to stick. This is how fake it is. The whole thing. You know, Buck Jenner told me that in the Bling Bling video, Cash Money back there, Bling Bling.
Yeah.
It wasn't one diamond in that video.
Shit. Damn.
And whether that's true or not, that's how fake this industry is.
They made it look good.
Mama. Dead lokes. Everything I love and live for, daughters dead, homies, and more. That's how fake it is. I am the one realist.
You and Snoop cool?
Nah, I don't fuck with Kitty Cat. Hey, go look on this. You got your phone in your hand? Somebody right there? Yeah. Go on his IG and see the most recent treadmill. Last couple posts. Should be in the first 2 rows. I don't fuck with no niggas like that.
What did y'all go wrong, or was y'all ever right?
I'm gonna tell you where we went wrong. I was G-Unit Crippin', right?
Right.
Doja was G.U. Nottin'. I had a problem with Doja because he was G.U. Nottin'. Snoop Kitty Cat had a problem with me because I had a problem with Doja. He started it. I could play a clip for you right now. He said, man, fuck that nigga and that bullshit. He said, yeah, you ask anybody. Spider Look was at my peace conference talking about, yeah. So if you want to chronicle the chain of events according to Snoop Kitty Cat, I was at his peace conference begging for peace according to him. Then the next thing you know, I had a problem with Doja, the bitch boy, which is game for those that don't know. And Snoop had a problem with that. That's it. And Curtisha Jack's daughter and Snoop carried on holding hands, playing with flowers. Big bag, Curtisha. I got Snoop on clip saying, G-Unit cannot save you, cuz. But my problem with the bitch boy was because the bitch boy was dissing G-Unit. And Snoop Kitty Cat had a problem with that, y'all.
You and Royce good?
Say it again.
You and Royce good?
Yeah. And did you look at the post before we get the moist?
I was looking at some of it. I didn't catch up. I was like,
did you see the treadmill? Like, would you post that on your page for any reason under the stars?
No.
Thank you. That's my point. What can I have in common with a dude that wears French tips and Uggs, calls himself super gay cuz #1 fan, feels comfortable with his daughter wearing dresses, post those type of posts on his page? I we Crips. He told me he got love for me because 50 Cent got love for me. The Crip and corny. I got a problem with Doja, so you got a problem with me. What can I mean, what room do I have to have some type of appreciation for Kitty Cat? Now, Moist, the 5'9", the Grand Wizard's mediator.
Damn.
He like the nigga on Life with the shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he just made amends on behalf of Marshall Mathers with Nick Cannon. They just broke Nick Cannon down quick, boy.
Yeah, they did.
He went from being the first foremost in boldness to now. He said the Grand Wizard ain't never made amends. There is no amends to make for what we are aware of what he said. And anyone, including myself, that tried to overlook at any time in the past, shame on us. Shame on us. I'm about growth, like Moist said in that video where he looked like somebody auntie holding their robe together, just sipping on some coffee. You see when he first started, when he said punk, just the way he said punk, said that he is the punk. The way the word came out his mouth. And if you didn't realize it, next time you watch it, you'll see what I mean. But dude tried to go to a high note and make himself seem like the high, righteous, positive person, and then clown me saying the universe got me working a job. When he don't realize me and the universe laughing at him because this is a blessing. Can you imagine how idiotic somebody sound laughing at your blessing that you are elated about?
Word.
That's like seeing a dude walking funny and laughing at him and you not knowing he got prosthetics on and ain't walked in 16 years. He don't give a fuck about you laughing. So you want to make a mockery of me because this demonic industry, when you friends with the Grand Wizard that is comfortable coming on the single saying, hey kids, I'm going to hell. Who's going with me? That industry, he's at the top of it. The universe, the positive energy is shitting on me because I'm not cool with that energy like you. Then he said that old feminine you know how female that sounded to say, oh yeah, he's a nobody. Then if you haven't heard nothing but negative about him in 20 years, how do you hear about a nobody for 20 years, nigga? You establishing me as somebody in the midst of attempting to call me nobody. And then say you've heard negative, but on my daughters and dead homies, he can't tell you not one thing factual he's heard negative about me. And if you consider negative, not being afraid to laugh at the buffoonery that you want to be real niggas is participating in, all right. I ain't nothing like these rap niggas. None of them on my mama.
Man, speaking of buffoonery, a lot of that's going on with the election right now, man. Before we get up out of here, because I know we both busy, man, we appreciate your time over an hour, man.
Yes, sir.
What you think about what's going on with the election, man, and everything we're seeing with the celebrities and all this shit we see going on both sides?
It's really a little over my pay grade as far as just being able to have a opinion on the overall everything. But when I could generally make out, it's like, man, we not gonna be no worse or better off either way as us, our people. America, we keep feeling like we're Americans. And it's just crazy. I was watching UFC fighting, and it's like the commentator talk like, yeah, he's from Puerto Rico. He's fighting. He has a lot of pride in this country. He's fighting for the whole Puerto Rico, and he's from Argentina. He's from Yugoslavia. And it's okay for these men to be in here beating the shit out of somebody for the pride of their people. When we in there, you never hear that commentation. It's like, whoa, who are we? And I realized that the other day watching UFC reruns that, damn, it's okay for everybody to kick ass for their people except us. You fuck with Americans, they'll drop bombs. But right here in America, they police force could murder us and slaughter us. And the people you trying to vote for say, you bet not, or I'll bring out the tanks. We're not even allowed to be what they consider. America has no problem saying violence should be met with violence. No problem. Until it comes to us. So it's like pick your poison if you're into voting. Yeah. I don't want to deter nobody from voting if voting somehow does make a difference. I've yet to have anybody point to me at any time in history where they can show me that voting was the difference for the better. I would like to see that. That probably will motivate people to vote more than just keep telling them like a wish and a prayer that voting changes things, like telling them Jesus is coming back.
Yep.
And show me in history like when the vote was we did this, we voted in, like when. That might, for any people that's campaigning to get voters, you might want to run around with some proof of voting's effectiveness. Because really amongst the people that I communicate with on a regular basis, nobody believes in or gives a fuck about voting. The ballot of the bullet. We see what happens. When we burn shit down, progress. In 1992, the motherfuckers got found not guilty for beating on Rodney King.
Mm-hmm.
Told this motherfucker down, they went to jail.
You hear people say our ancestors died for the right to vote. I'm like, nah, motherfucker, they died for the right to live. They ain't died to get put on the ballot. It didn't matter anyway.
Thank you. And if you realize they're thinking voting was the end game, you've lost sight of the mission. That's like we in the field. The master house is over there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house. Everything in that thing is luxurious. It's food, furniture. But beyond this house is freedom. But we know we got to charge through that front door and make it through the house to get to freedom. And as we on our motherfucking charge, you get caught in the beauty of this house.
Mm-hmm.
That's what niggas in America is doing, bro.
Yeah.
We supposed to be running through this motherfucker. And we got to looking around at the furniture. We didn't kill. We stuck. We stuck in this motherfucker. It's killed the spirit of the whole movement. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take some things that probably ain't going to happen in our lifetimes to get it back on track. I ain't giving up hope. I know it looks hopeless, but I believe in good and evil because I see good and evil. I don't know if it's titled good and evil. I just refer to it as that because to make a reference of the energies I'm referring to. I just have a hard time believing ultimately in whatever this is we're experiencing by being alive, that evil is going to ultimately win. I don't know if we'll be alive in this consciousness and this existence to be aware of the whole end of the saga. But I know that us have been victims of the negative, not just us, but our ancestors and our existence, our people, our whole entire existence. And I think some retribution is coming for us. I think we see hints of it. And I think each generation, because we get a taste of what the retribution is going to be like, we get stagnated with the fight because we're not on that field no more. And we don't realize they still got us on that field that breaks your ACL, though. You're going to be on the field, the court, something.
Yeah, it did nothing but evolve.
That's it. And it's such a non-physically painstaking slavery that is so effective. The majority of us don't realize we're in it. I saw a movie one time where they had a prison with no gates. Everybody had a thing around their neck, and if you go past the perimeter, your head blow up. And for years, it took nobody tried it. But they used to show them when you first get there with your fish kit, with your blanket and shit. They used to have a dummy go out on a little golf cart and show you what happened. Bam! I remember one motherfucker got desperate enough. No, I remember what it was. You had to be in a certain amount of distance from another one of these neck things, from another prisoner. So okay. Two motherfuckers did it together, broke out together. That's what the movie was. But the whole concept is there's no walls and no gates, but we still in slavery, bro. Okay. And America proved, you don't see the motherfucking chains. Try to take it too far. They'll Bill Cosby you. They'll George Floyd you. Mm-hmm. Malcolm X you. They'll Martin Luther King you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Powerful interview, man. Definitely appreciate
y'all, man.
Let's make this a animal thing. Anytime you want to come on the platform, bro, the platform is yours, and definitely promote what you got going on. What you got going on for the people, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
Just so I won't make it like it's a pop quiz. BayMacStreetwear.com. Got a lot of fly gear there you can check out. YouTube.com/Spotted Most Easty, the home of the Black Box and the Wake and Bake Show, where myself, aka Bay Machiavelli, aka VJ Keyway, gets it cracking morning, night. You never know when I'm gonna pop up. A lot of good content on there. Got a lot of good commentary, a lot of good music. On Instagram, follow your boy, Spotted Most Easty, the number 7. And that's about all the capitalizations that I can provide for the moment.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Much success to you, bro.
Likewise. Do I got to do something to get up out of here? Y'all gonna shut me down?
You just hit it's like a leave studio button right there.
Oh, up there on the left.
Yeah.